Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. Today I will be exploring some kind of 3D modeling techniques for character. So it's more like an idea and explorations. Um, and I want to use grease pencil and also skin modifier to get me to where we can create some kind of creature. So the idea is actually came from Kyle Boudet. So from his tweets, I can see a lot of characters he made based on armature like this. And this is actually really cool way to design a character. Um, I know from this stage to this stage it's actually quite complicated, and I'm sure that takes a lot of time. But this is actually some kind of approach that we can do in Blender. I don't know. I'll try to create something from scratch and see if it's actually working. So let's create a grease pencil, just a blank grease pencil, right? Go to the front view, go to draw mode, and I'll pick up, instead of using the default pencil, I like to use this F ink. Sometimes you want to adjust the radius also, but yeah. But start scribbling your character. Your character can be some kind of aliens. I don't know. I should keep it really simple. And normally what you need to think about is the torso, whether you want to make it like more like triangles, and then the arms and the hands. If it's alien character, I don't know. Since we are drawing with grease pencil and this is actually like a 2D and it's just flat, I like to draw my arms, the character's hands also drawn this way, flat. Normally you want, if you make like a reference, you want to draw this on top, but anyway. So, and then the legs, right, I don't know, make it big or small or tentacle, no. Just a normal, simple character, maybe with a very big foot. So same thing with the foot. If you want to make it, I don't know, I draw it this way, but normally you want the foot to face forward. But yeah, you can be a little bit more crazy with the character, and I don't always like using mirror, but mirror also can be really helpful. Oh, apparently, seems like I'm not in the front view exactly. I'm on the x-axis, but it's okay. I can still flip this. Okay, so we have our grease pencil. So this is just gonna be like a quick reference. I'm gonna save this very quickly. So grease pencil is still, I think, the most powerful tool in Blender because you can draw anything using grease pencil, concept art even. From this grease pencil, you can convert it, but for simplicity, we're actually just gonna use skin modifier. So I start with another default cube, go to edit mode, hit tab, right click, merge vertices at center, so we have only a single point, and I'm gonna use this single point there as the hit part. So I'm also approaching this like a character rigger, and I'm starting to draw this leg part. Actually, just do it this way, just like drawing a joint or bones. Hopefully you can see this. It's very not visible, but I'm drawing for every parts where I think I can draw joints. I just simply tap E and then extrude. So this is the arm for the hands, for the finger, neck, and the head part. I just make something like that. I can actually make something like ear, right? So we have something like that, like a stick. And I can mirror this in the y-axis, turn on bisect so it's merged, and then skin modifier, of course. So we have this. From here, I kind of wish we can use something like displays and remesh and then multi-resolution, but I think multi-resolutions in this version of Blender, multi-res is always placed on the top, so you can't actually doing it that way. You need to kind of bake. You need to bake this first. Be careful with this glaze. If it's too big, your remesh will start to get rid of the details. But anyhow, so before we do that, I mean, first of all, with the skin modifier, before you remesh, skin modifier is actually powerful. You can go inside, select all, let me turn on this X-ray, and then you can Control A, adjust the thickness. You can be very meticulous with this size, but I think a better approach is to use Sculpt for that. So I will do exactly that. So this is the original. Let's call this character 0, and then duplicate it, hide the original, center it back using Option G, excuse me, and then this, I'm happy with this. I just gonna Command A, so we get rid of the skin modifier. We always can go back and then create an armature from this guy if you want. Maybe I can do that now. There, armature. Just gonna hide it. So we're gonna work on this guy. I will use sculpt mode and start sculpting with a bit of inflate. So here we can start to add some kind of thickness, especially around the head areas, to match our original design a little bit better. So we should also turn on symmetry, I think. So the foot, the leg, yeah, again, this needs to be rotated to properly work. Very likely the finger will be kind of like a sausage when you're first starting. But yeah, anyway, this could be a good start. And then I mirror it in the Y in this case. Should be X. But yeah, this is not the front axis, this is actually side axis. If I go to tilde, front, yeah, see, it's a bit wrong. I can always rotate it. So here, so we have this, and we can continue with sculpting. And yeah, okay, we can do remesh. Eventually we want to do remesh. Adjust the voxel. So okay, the finger looks problematic. We don't want to go too small with the voxel size. So let's see if we can fix this. Back to sculpt. Maybe grab. And maybe at this point we can actually do edit and then rotate this. It's weird and twisting, right? But don't worry about the topology because we're gonna bake it anyway. because we are using remesh and we're gonna bake. We don't worry too much about topology right now. Oops, something wrong with my mouse. Okay. Yeah, a little bit better actually. If you want to add a subdivision surface, you should add it maybe before remesh. If you want that, it tends to make your character a little bit more rounded. You can also use displays. Displays is actually really powerful and fast in Blender. So make a tweak. This is typically what happens with your character. It looks a little bit weak because we are only drawing it from the front so far, right? But you can go back to Sculpt, go to the side view. Okay. And start grabbing and reshaping the character. This is definitely wrong. Actually, not too bad. Sometimes, okay, the mirror is wrong because my character is in the wrong axis. Okay, it should be like this. This shape is actually not bad. It's like S shape that creates the leg, although this part around the feet is really weird. Maybe I should adjust this feet a little bit. Well, so just make that thicker. That's probably a little bit better looking from a glance. So this how's the character like? I actually quite like this head like this, a bit more like a triangle. Feels more sturdy, and I mean the arm here you can inflate and just make adjustment. It doesn't need to be perfect at this stage, just enough so that the remesh looks correct. Because remember, we are still using the basic mesh. I want to worry about this part a little bit. Inflate this part. If you are doing inflate from the back, it's gonna create this curve. Okay. So you can do the same with the chest area. Maybe deflate a little bit here, holding control and deflate. The face, okay, we haven't touched the face much, but we also need to do that. So with a human, if you ever done like live drawing, the shape of human body is quite interesting and beautiful, but there's a lot of curve, you know, and it's kind of making like a rhythm. But that's, we need a full course on that. I mean, this character might need to have better neck. Maybe the character doesn't have neck, I don't know. But here, I mean, we need to shape it until it looks a little bit more correct. Maybe I should work like this. Not too much. Sculpt tends to do this. There must be a better way. It's better to use joints actually to reshape this better. I could actually use joints. My feeling, let's save this first. apply the mirror. Subdivision you can get rid for now. This place we have remesh. We can get rid of that as well. So we have this character, we have armature. Maybe just use this to reshape our character. Select armature, go to the pose mode. Okay, rotations only. Alright. You need to unparent every bones. Select all the bones. Right click, parents clear. I think clear parent. Go to pose mode. Now every bones is separate. Which is can be bad, but in this case we can reshape a character better. So this is what I mean by rhythm. So that's the hip, that's the leg. This makes a better character. Okay, I like that. This is using bones to reshape our blocking character. Top view. If you like Kyle, maybe with this kind of armature, you always work with the base and then you're adding things on top. So you have a lot of things. You have a lot of controls on the character. I think you just hit apply on the character. So this bone is no longer needed, I think, in this case. Just move it. Remesh. If you want to displace again, just a little bit, not too much. So we have something that we can work with. I'm gonna save this. I save a lot with every stage, just in case we want to go back. So I hit remesh apply. So we have this character that we can sculpt. Yeah, at this point, really just a matter of sculpting it. If your character have things like here with Kyle, okay, he adds some details to the character from here to here. You can sculpt all of them, of course, and then he actually works in the pose. The character is already in pose with the weapons, etc. If you can work also like that, I can go to edit mode. If you have this ball pen add-on by Kushiro, you can work holding control. You can add nose, eyeballs. So I'm in this mode. It's hard to see. Okay. So this is too big. Let's do this again. Go to edit mode, right click, ball pen, Control Shift, scroll. Start painting while holding the control. But again, I mean, this is something that you can do with Sculpt You just need to be familiar and confident with the sculpting tool. Once you're done, mirror, and then remesh once again. You can work this way. It's faster to get some details, okay? But don't need to do that. So we can go back to this guy, go to sculpt mode, and start sculpting with the cavity on. I don't know, at this point, it's really up to you how you want to do your sculpting. Just now I was using the grab, but this is an alien character, easier to make a single eyes. Can have 2 eyes if I want. Maybe I still don't have enough resolution. I don't know. So I mean, with your character, you're free to do anything, because it's not like this is the character for yourself. So this is more like a robot. This is more like something else. I don't know. So with this guy approach, he actually thinks about the armors and then for the body. So your character will never gonna be naked unless you want it to be naked. So I don't know, just make like a very simple costume. So I'm drawing this ring, you know, like astronaut costume. Same deal. Maybe character is wearing a boot, some kind of alien boots. No, I'll just gonna try to keep it simple for now. Really, it's just an example. So the character is wearing astronaut costume. I'm still unsure about his mouth. Here. It's totally connected to the costume. It's weird. However, it's starting to get somewhere. Save it again. Save as new blend. You can never have too many blends files. Now, at this point, the really fun way before you go into UV and baking, the most fun way to color is to use vertex paint. Start with a base mesh color. Just pick a color that's not white or black. It's up to you. Easier to have like a grayish color. Set vertex color or Shift K. Yeah? Just gonna set it to our character. You can add dirty vertex color. It's gonna go even darker. Then you start painting. When you are painting, also you want to maybe turn on symmetry, X or Y. Okay, Y. Start painting. This is probably good for some kind of concept art, but it could also be like a final piece of your character design. You want to animate. You want to turn it into augmented reality, stop motion animations, or you want to turn it into some kind of lens, Snapchat lens, or Spark AR for Facebook and Instagram. So you have a lot of options there. Too many options actually these days. So I didn't give the character an eyeball, but a dummy eyeball is actually I want to show you something. The easiest to use another grease pencil, draw something. So that from a lot of creations out there, a lot of eyeballs is made up of sphere. With this part is kind of goes in a little bit, and then you have two half sphere that you use as a eyelid. So combine the two and you have an eyeball. Keep it simple. You can always work with the texture a little bit more. Okay, by the way, with this character, whenever you go back to this mode, you cannot see the vertex color. This is the fastest way to do it in this mode. But if you go to the material view, you have nothing, so you need to assign a material base color and go to vertex color, assign it with color. Okay, now we have our character. So the eyeball, again, if I make, maybe it's good to have some kind of template eyeballs. I can just place it there. For now, I don't worry too much. Just continue here. I like texturing. Takes time. However, don't rush. Especially here, because I have no idea what I'm trying to create. So here currently it's all symmetrical. Also, green and purple on a character is a very interesting color choice. So we can still go back to sculpting, of course. We can add join armature. We need to add control in order to animate it. But you can send this character like this in this pose into Mixamo, and you can animate your character also already. I can do that maybe later. For now, I think I'm pretty much done. So starting with this grease pencil scribbles, we have this character. This part is a bit weird, but yeah, so that's how I might approach like a character concept design. I think that's the easiest compared to other methods, and it depends on what you're doing really. If you can block your character using different shapes like cylinder, sphere, cone, that will work also. But I like this approach because it's using this flat grease pencil, and then you can use skin modifier, and then use a lot of Blender features, even using armature. It's really powerful. So this, I like to include this also. So this is the process. One way to do it. This is like something that I've been thinking for many years. Only recently I got a little bit more patience and confidence to do this sculpting stuff. I mean, sculpting is hard for me because my background is doing character rig, but I like to do doodles. I do a lot of 2D doodles, cartoony characters, and I think this is a better approach in sculpting. It's not too detailed with sculpting yet. And of course, we are not finished here. We are not finished with vertex color. You need to bake it bake it as a proper UV texture, and then you can add more details. Okay, so that's probably what I need to do if you want me to continue with this video. So for now, this is pretty much it. Hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, maybe something to add, or if you have any question, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.